Why is Kamala Harris so immature? I'm sure many of you asked yourself that question. Well, at least we can agree on one thing. Kamala Harris seems to be an immature person given how she conducted herself in the public arena. Just a reminder that I'm just speculating about her personality here, so I'm not making a formal diagnosis. This video is just my own opinion and analysis. Let me start off with some examples of her behavior that make her come off as immature. In a Las Vegas rally she was in recently, Kamala said the following quote, "Hey Nevada, oh, it's so good to be back. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Ha 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 ha. The power is with the people. It's with the people. Ha 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 ha. And so, in the next 87 days, we need you to use your power. Ha 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 ha." End quotes. These are just some of the things she said in the recent rally. And that's not all. She has been shown to laugh at things at the wrong time more than once. Another example is during an interview. She said, quote, "I went home one night and I asked my mom, 'Why are conservatives so bad, mommy? Ha ha ha. I thought they're supposed to conserve. Ha 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 ha. I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can. Ha 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 ha." End quotes. I can give more examples, but you get the point. She's known to be someone who is unserious, makes light of a lot of things when she's pressed on them, and gives very vague answers to very specific questions. This character flaw makes her a bad faith person, someone who is not interested in discussing ideas, but just merely see everything as pure entertainment. What could be going on with someone like that? What causes someone to be so unserious about so many serious topics, especially something like the US presidency? One of the reasons I can think of is when someone is nervous. Generally, when a person is under pressure, they feel stressed. And one of the ways they let that stress out is by displaying secondary emotions, such as laughing. A lot of people use this mechanism in order to conceal how they truly feel, namely fear and anxiety. This is typically an immature way to cope with stress because it shows a lack of emotional awareness and an inability to regulate one's emotions properly. Another reason for why Kamala seems to laugh at random times is narcissism. Narcissistic people tend to lack self-awareness, which goes hand in hand with what I mentioned earlier. They're oblivious to how their behavior comes across to others, and this leads them to do things that come off as off-putting, rude, and embarrassing. This is what I believe is happening with Kamala. Though I'm not aware of a formal diagnosis of narcissism for her, she does display a lack of self-awareness that even a 10-year-old would have. It's surprising that given her age and experience that she can't manage to develop this self-awareness, which is such a basic skill. Lastly, what are some of the dangers I believe are imminent if Kamala does become president? Well, here are a few. Having someone who is unserious means she will drag her feet when it comes to serious issues like crime and inflation, just to name a few, which have increased since she and Biden took office in 2021. The entire time she was in office, she and Biden did absolutely nothing to make things easier for the average American, despite the fact that she spent so much time talking about how much they improved things in the country. Another thing is she will see the presidency as a form of publicity in order to gain attention and admiration, not as a job where she is a public servant that is there to serve the general population. This is behavior that is typical of teens who try so hard to get in the spotlight because they want to appear cool in front of their peers. People are generally forgiving of teens for this behavior, but not so much for a 60-year-old former prosecutor who is running to be president. In conclusion, I think Kamala should not be in this race because she doesn't seem fit to be running for president. She's had a long career as a politician, and she should simply step aside to let someone more serious and more qualified to get the job. Besides, she was wildly unpopular and was only endorsed by Democrats because they simply don't like Trump, which is a reckless behavior that is just merely vengeful and petty rather than a strategic political move that will ultimately benefit the country. So that's it for this video. If you like this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share to get notified about more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.